Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee Vlog. In this video, I wanted to talk about my biggest lessons in roasting. Basically, if I were to break down for this year, because I'm, at the end of the year, I do a lot of like self-reflection, things like that. Um, I think the biggest lesson in roasting for me would be that use of data. Um, I just was taking notes, but I was kind of taking notes blindly. Like I didn't really know why I was taking notes on certain things, and then what I was going to use those notes for and make decisions on. I really had to. I think it is smart to kind of learn the rules, so to speak, like the downward sloping ROR. But then, how does that vary and change from coffee to coffee? How does that vary and change from machine to machine? From different environmental things that are going on, different goals for the roaster, like so many things. And I think that either I don't know why I was missing that, but I was just missing that portion. I think of the lesson of roasting, which is like, hey, this is this, I guess, the standard, but it can change based on this, and maybe it was there, but like I didn't interpret it that way, and I'm not really sure why. So I'm not sure why that message didn't come in first. And I have an idea, and I think that's when you're a newbie learner, you're so desperate for a how-to step-by-step guide. And I think for anybody who's getting into probably any new set of skills or something like that, or a new craft, is to realize that no matter what kind of rules or how it's always been done or what traditions or whatever that have been done with that craft or that new skill, that there's going to be variation. I think that was a big thing that I learned over the course of the Rona times, because that's when I picked up a lot of new skills, like cutting hair, making bread, cooking a lot, because we had so much time on our hands. I was able to pick up so many skills, and I saw so many parallels of those types of very hands-on crafty skills that depend on you in your particular individual situation, and then adjusting to it based on a certain set of experiences or variables, at that time when you're doing it. So for example, like with roasting this year, I was like, I feel like I'm doing things, like quote unquote, by the book, which is a lot of what you guys, when you DM me your roast curves and things like that, you're like, I feel like I'm doing it by the book, but I'm not getting what I want. And that's great in a way, because that's where it starts. It's like, that's where one can learn to be curious, learn to not only see like in real data of their own, not based in a book, not based in an online blog or a social media post, but with their own data, cupping your coffee and going, I'm not tasting what I want to taste. What's up? I feel like I'm doing what everybody's telling me to do. So now at that point, there becomes this new crux where you upgrade, you level up your learning, you've established this base of like, well, this is where I'm at so far. And now it's time to level this up because I want this now. Right? Before it was just learn the darn thing, like turn on the machine, don't burn my house down. Those were the goals before when I first started. Don't burn my house down, right? Don't burn the coffee, don't mess up, don't fuck up. And then later on it becomes, well, how do I refine? How do I pull out more acidity? How do I put more chocolate? How do I make this a sweet coffee? What is it? How do I get that, right? So I think it's super natural to go in the process of way of learning that I have gone through this year. So, point blank for me was like, the biggest lessons were realizing there is a standard, there's a deviation. It's okay that there wasn't a how-to guide, an exact how-to guide for me when I was asking for it. I really, in the end, it was going to be this way. It was going to be experimenting, taking notes, recording data, experimenting again, and then just trying it, right? Like that's what it was. And I found joy in that, and I think no matter who told me what in the beginning of how to roast or whatever. I don't hold it against them. It's just you know, that's my journey. And I think it's beautiful the way that I've come to this point. But learning to redefine my personal goals with coffee, and then understand that I have personal ones, and then I have ones that I uphold for the company, right? And starting to think of the company as I have Black City's standard, I have my own standard for what I like to drink personally, right? And those will overlap a lot, but still they are separate and should remain separate. They can overlap, but I should always kind of look at the two as not the same thing. Because, you know, the individual versus the company will have different perspectives and goals. And taking that into becoming a roaster and one day being able to pass that down to, say, a roast manager or a head roaster where I'm, you know, at the office or at the cupping table deciding where we should go from there, right? So, yeah, it was the fact that I was taking notes blindly and I didn't really know why I was taking them. Now I take notes and I'm going to make, and for a reason now. So, like, I take notes, like you could see here. I mean, you can't see my notes here, but I was just wanted to have this up so you guys could see. So you could see, like, what a typical roast curve would look like here. And now I know, like, okay, from one curve to another where I'm under or over, and maybe that's why in the cup it's sweeter than I'd like, or maybe it's under, like, not the most developed as I like, and things like that. And so being able to really just analyze, you know, my own data, looking at my own data, going, okay, let me break my own data down. What's going on here? What's going on here? You know, things like that. And for me, that was the biggest lesson of roasting this year. It was just being able to take better notes, knowing why I'm taking certain notes, like recording weight loss for the first time this year and having that really affect and how I make decisions of quality control. Like, I roasted this coffee. Is it a true light roast, or did it become a medium roast because I kept it in there too long, or whatever, right? Based on weight loss. That's one example of being more poignant and more purpose-driven with my notes. And another thing, if that was like the biggest, if that was like number one, I have my little notes here. Like, I was saying, yeah, I learned the rules, like the way it was supposed to be done. And I just took them too literally. I learned that I took things too literally because I was so desperate for a how-to guide and a step-by-step. I just took it too literally. And I needed to understand that things are going to have variance. And I shouldn't be upset about it or anything like that. You know, I should just be really grateful for any information that I could find and understand that my journey is going to be my journey. And I'm trying to pass the torch, and I'm trying to encourage others and give that message I missed that in the beginning. I just missed that. So I want to put that in my content and pass the torch forward, because I think the whole idea of roasting at home is such a niche thing, meaning it's such a like rare and sort of like odd, bizarre thing. Not a lot of people do it, right? Not bizarre that it's like weird or something, but it's not mainstream is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, just to pass the torch and say, hey, it's weird. And it's okay that's weird. And it's a niche thing, you know, and I think that's why it's really special too. Redefining my roasting for my own goals, creating data-driven note-taking style that serves those goals. That was really important. And then, which, you know, naturally led up to the point that I'm at right now, which is just basically, which I wanted to do. The number one goal this year was to roast better tasting coffee, with reasons that I can back up, right? With reasons that I can back up, meaning I have data and I know why I got here. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't just like, hey, this tastes good. It's like, no, yeah, I made this phase this long. I made this phase this long. I dropped it at this, you know what I mean? And that's why this coffee tastes this way. And I know that, you know, so that when I serve it to the customer, I'm not serving them just this like, I threw it in there. I slapped a label on it, and then I just gave it to you. No, every single roast I'm there, like, is this the best I can do? You know, is this my intention? Is this my best creation at this time, right? I'm always going to get better. Hopefully that's my intention, is to always get better. But I think in the past it was just sort of like having fun, and I don't knock and or regret anything that I've done in the past. I'm just trying to be real about what my lessons were this year. I go, oh, okay, so yeah, like that was the difference of me just like playing with coffee, playing with this, playing with that. And I was like, well, if I want to just play around, then that's fine. But I don't want to just play around. I have bigger goals beyond this, and part of it is doing this thing where you're taking, even from the charge to the drop, you're taking everything seriously, disciplined, and learning why and how and when to do all these things for you, for your own goals. Yeah. So that was it. That was today's video. I just wanted to come in here and kind of share that. I've been thinking about it a little bit. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay. So anyway, just hoping to pass the torch. 4 more days till Christmas. I'm excited. We'll see you the next one. Bye.